Hello. In this session today, we are going to see two very well-known open source systems, intrusion detection system. One is Snort and one is Suricata, and we're going to analyze them from the empirical analysis. So we're going to set up all the systems, compare them, and see the results. I am Associate Professor Stavros Shiaeles, and I am from the University of Portsmouth, UK. This work here, this analysis, it was not done by me alone. It was done in collaboration with Akram Ukebuz, Mohammed Slem Fedas, and Geltum Bedia from the University of Fairs Memory, Constantine, Algeria. So what are the contents of this presentation? We're going first to see some key cybersecurity trends, then we're going to deep into the network intrusion detection systems. We'll see the aim of the research based on the systems. We're going to see about NIDS solutions, Snort and Suricata, what experimental setup we used, the results of this research work, and some conclusions and perspectives from this work. So, what are the cybersecurity trends currently? Number one, as you can see from this image here from the devoteam.com, first of all is artificial intelligence. As you can see in every product in cybersecurity, all they mention artificial intelligence. Second one is various global events happening about cybersecurity. Another interesting trend here now is the security in the cloud, because cloud is a different, let's say, environment with more power, different needs with virtualization and all of this happening in the cloud, which make it unique. So new cybersecurity things are needed. We have Internet of Things. We have the new generation mobile networks, which now we're talking about 5G, 6G on the pipeline coming, etc. We have attacks on mobile devices because now the mobile devices that we use, it's small computers. They have enough power to do many things. We have attacks on supply chain, ships, trucks, transferring goods in various places and sometimes remote places. We have some ransomware, and we have also targeted ransomware on specific organizations from paid hackers. We have data privacy laws like GDPR, etc. We have autonomous vehicles coming into the play, plus a new field area about hacking autonomous vehicles that could be cars, but also ships and many other things. And we have the scarcity of resources. So all of this threats, all of these basically trends are providing also, we have a lot of threats coming, especially in IoT devices and cloud computing, because we have complex now infrastructures, we have more and more connected devices with heterogeneity and various operating systems, most of the times not being updated and obsolete. So all of these things coming into this, what we call Internet of Things, they're coming with their own security issues that they need to be addressed or prevent intrusion. So that makes intrusion systems important as a first step of defense, because cybersecurity is not just one step of defense. You need to have multiple layers in order to be more efficient. And coming to this discussion of about network intrusion detection systems, we have here some figures which they explain where you install a network intrusion detection system. First of all, I need to clarify the difference between network intrusion detection system and NIDS basically, and NIPS, which is network intrusion prevention systems. Most of the times, all the NIDS can also act as NIPS. So basically, IPS is intrusion prevention systems. Is not just passively networking. That's the difference basically. ITSs, they just listening the traffic, match the signatures, and produce alerts, doing nothing. Just notify the administration about that something wrong is happening. IPS in the contracts are active, so they take precautions. Most of, or no, most of the times, there's a lot of research, let's say, about IPS, which you have many false positive, false negative, etc., due to the signatures. But that it is what it is. A lot of research is happening in order to reduce these things. So most of the times they just use the intrusion detection systems as information, but there are plugins which you can make them to be also reactive to see the attack and stop the attack, whatever is this the cost. Okay, if it's false positive or false negative. So the idea, there are two places where you can put these systems. One is after the router. So you make a spam port, basically where you transfer all the network. So in order to be correct the NITS, you need to see all the traffic going through your network, so inside your network. So everything should pass first from the NITS and then go into your network. So you can either put it after the router, or you can put it after the firewall in the switch, where you enable what we call a span port, which is mirroring basically all the network traffic to the IDS, so you can see what is going on your network. Through the years, there were many systems produced. You can see a few here: Snort, Suricata, Zik, and some other solutions. With Security Onion and Shiaeles to be, let's say, systems that they combine various open source software in order to provide one solution. I will say the dominant open source intrusion detection systems are Snort, Suricata, and Zik. Here we're going to deal with the two of them, not Zik, the former Bro ITS, but just the two Snort and Suricata, which they are running for decades. So the aim of this research, of what we did here, it was first of all to see if Snort 3 actually was an improvement of Snort 2. Because they said many nice things about Snort 3 and the new development of Snort 3, etc., etc. So I want to see, okay, they say so many nice things. Are they really true? Or is just a something commercial trick to show that is something good, but indeed it's not. So the one was that to see if actually Snort 3 is actually good, and then to see how good is Snort, how good is the multi-threading, and which one is efficient and where, what CPU, what RAM they're using, what packet drop rate and loss of alert we have, all of these things. A few things about these systems, Snort and Suricata. Suricata is from 1992, Snort 2 from 2013, and Snort 3 from 2021. All of them are open source, all of them are supporting, they have GUI, they support IPv4, IPv6. So we have all of these license. Moreover, here are some more important features. It's the multi-threading, which Snort is not. Snort does not do the packet inspection. Snort does not do automatic detection of protocols. And the other thing is to see the installation if it's actually easier Snort or Suricata based on what they are saying. Okay, so as you can see, Snort 3 is a new code. Suricata is evolved rapidly. In order to test our scenario, our hypothesis, let's say, and coming to conclusions, we need to set up an experimental network. We use the VMware Workstation Pro because we have license at the university, and because we needed to run nested virtualization, which VBox is not so good on that. We needed to set up a complete Hyper-V system with VBox, VirtualBox. So we choose VMware Pro due to the first of all, we had the license, but due to the features that it has, which it make it, let's say, dominant in this field, and it's very good product. Of course, we could use other virtualization free software, but let's say we had the license, we know that VMware is very good, so we wanted to stick with that. There's not any specific reason why we choose VMware Pro, which is commercial instead of something open source. Okay, so the idea here is to have the internet. We have an open source router firewall PFSense, which was configured to allow all the traffic. It didn't block any IPs, etc. So everything was coming through the firewall, this PFSense router, and then it was going to the virtual machines. We use i7 2.6 gigahertz, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 1 terabyte of hard drive. We use, during this experiment, we had the latest version of Suricata Snort 3, which you can see the versions there in the screen. And we set up 3 VMs for each instances of Suricata Snort 3. Basically, we set up, first of all, with Ubuntu 20.04 OS, we give 4 cores to each one, 2 GB of RAM and 20 GB of hard disk. So we set up a lightweight version of Ubuntu with the minimal needed, 1 instance, and then we copy this instance 2 times, so they were identical. And on each of these machines, then we put the software, the version of Suricata, the version of Snort, the version 2 of Snort, the version 3 of Snort. Okay. We wanted, as I said, to be identical, to have the same things. The only difference each machine has, it was the ITS. We have this IP address, we have the external network, the internal network, and the next thing we wanted is to simulate the scenario. We put the latest signatures in all of them, and we then downloaded 16 pickup files from various malicious websites like Net Resec, which is a malicious resource repository, Renowned Malware Analysis Repository. So we download all of these files, which they were between 10 megabyte or 5 gigabyte, depending on the file. And in this pickup file, in these datasets, there were various attacks. You can see in this pie chart the segment each of these malware it was spam 12%, DDoS 13%, botnets 19%, phishing 19%, ransomware 25%, malware 12%. And then we use TCP replay, which we retransmit. As you can see here, we use TCP replay to retransmit these pickup files through the Snort, or Suricata network interface to get the results. So first we have one tool, TCP replay, and the second tool we use it was top, which, as you can see in the bottom picture, we was monitoring not the total CPU and the total RAM, but the service, the PID specific CPU, memory, etc. Of course, you will be wondering if monitoring just a service, this service is not having extra workload, let's say, extra CPU usage from the system, etc. It could be a case, but as I said, we make sure that the systems were identical. So whatever this usage was for Snort, it will be also for Snort 3, Snort 2, and Suricata, because they were identical. And also, in the end, you cannot use Suricata standalone without an operating system. It needs to sit on an operating system. So either way, you're going to have some interaction with the operating system and some overheads. So the monitoring and the measurement that we have were pretty good for what we wanted to do, what we wanted to prove. So after we ran each test many times, because we wanted to repeat the test and see if our results were actually okay, we have this throughput. We have various throughputs until 320 megabits per second. So we recorded everything, and we came into this graphs and these results from the top monitoring. So what were the results from our monitoring and our tests? We indeed see an improvement with Snort 3. First of all, we saw that Snort 3 was close to Suricata in terms of CPU usages. So as the throughput was raising, it was also the CPU utilization raising, etc. It was achieving, I mean, the CPU usage was between 10 to 90% of the Snort 3 compared to 4 and 70% of Snort 2. Achieving higher CPU usage means that it's actually working and it's not dropping package. The reason that CP is not to stop in 70%, it means that it reached their top and it was losing packets, which you will see in the next picture. In terms of memory usage, Snort 2 was using the highest memory. So basically, Snort is putting everything in memory, all the signatures, and you go through the memory. So if you have a lot of signatures, you will use more and more RAM. Snort 3 was better in utilizing RAM comparing with Suricata, which was using 6.10 to 8.40%, depending on the rules, on the analysis of rules that it was utilizing. And here we are the most, let's say, interest results. As you can see, Snort 2, after reaching uh, after reaching 300, after reaching a number of 110, you could see a packet loss of 60%. Instead of Snort 3, which was between 0 and 3.6%. Suricata has the lowest 3% packet loss. And again, with losing packets means also that you use alerts. Interesting here that it was that Snort 3 suddenly in 192 lose a lot of alerts, and then it returned back to the Snort 2. But I will say the important for me is here the packet loss, which was significantly higher in Snort 2 comparing to Snort 3. So concluding, basically, we can see that indeed Snort 3 performance is better than Snort 2, and Suricata is better in terms of memory consumption. Snort 3 has a better memory usage than this all the Snort 2 systems currently. However, as you could see from the packet loss, etc., it needs more improvement in order to withstand in more, let's say, throughput, especially when you deal with DDoS attacks. So this multi-threading that was used is Snort. It seems that it helped it achieve better results and the improvements of the code to achieve better results than the previous Snort. But again, it's not reaching, Suricata is better. But I believe the improvements, they will make it a lot better. Now, future works, currently, as I said, we use specific traffic which we retransmit. We want to try these systems in real life environment, in a high speed network environment, in an actual industrial environment, to see actually how they behave as it is out of the box with legitimate traffic, a lot of legitimate traffic, and some malicious, to see how many malicious they lose. And the other thing is to compare this system with Zik, the former Pro IDS. However, Zik, the difference between these systems are signature based. Zik is mostly behavior based, basically, system. So it's catching anomalies on the network. So could be compared in terms of anomalies if they support these systems. You can add in Zik some signatures, uh, which you can compare Zik with Snort with signatures. However, Zik was not built with this. It was built mostly to detect network anomalies. So ideally would be to use Zik with Suricata and improve Zik with some AI and Suricata and some comparisons with some new releases. Zik was released Dragonfly with Dragonfly engine and AI Zik. It used to be open source, now it's not, but it could be a good system to download and test and compare. So that's my conclusion. Is that there's some future works you could think and you can go and try some suggestions. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions or if you want to contact me and drop me an email, here this is my email. Sorry, here is my email. So feel free to contact me. Thank you for your time. That's it.